Indian chief's head when it's inverted, aka the nuclear detonation over the eagle's head. Now moving so that we get a close-up of this, this is the nuclear detonation over the eagle's head. And when we invert it, notice how the Indian chief takes over as the superior element inside the evil seed of death. And depending on whether or not this focuses, it's relatively simple. But also notice how the feathers and or wings of this Indian chief block all light from reaching above the wings. There's a reason for that as well, and it's denoted in the volume of my 1990-page book, Angels on the Ark by Michael Fazio, that can be seen by clicking any of the links under my videos. Because, ladies and gentlemen, all of this information is in the book, written in a systematic order, much more systematic than I do in these crazy videos, because I can't remember what I said a few days ago in 10 videos back. So sometimes I go over the information 2 or 3 times, which happens in the book also, because many of the books of the Bible have to do with one another. For instance, Kings 1 and 2 are just 2 versions of the same story spoken differently. And the book of Isaiah, the book of Daniel, and the book of Revelation is just the same story, basic story, spoken of differently. The wheels within wheels are the seed pods of the God pod and the evil seed of death. It's all interpolated with one another. The Bible has a codices or a codex written within the Bible that these so-called experts are always linking passages, but they don't have any physical proof. But ladies and gentlemen, I, Michael Fazio, the crazy guy from Howard Beach, supply you with physical proof to my concepts, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, I supply you with physical proof. Believe it or not, the so-called experts are cringing in their chairs. Oh God, they're gonna kill me. Okay, let's go back to the videotape. The commander-in-chief, aka the chimp in charge, who was posing. The commander-in-chief, aka the chimp in charge, who was posing as the chief of the United States of America because he is an illegal immigrant, an undocumented illegal mudstain from another country that is usurping the power of the United States government, and it will be too late to undo what he does if they re-elect him. But it doesn't matter if they re-elect him or not, because, ladies and gentlemen, this world is doomed. United States of America also associated with an Indian war chief, which we just went over. When you invert the $1 bill, aka this Indian warrior chief, becomes clear as day. And to prove it, and to prove my concepts are in fact valid, the Indian chief has a bow and arrows in his talons that appear, clear as day. The Indian chief with the bow and arrows in his talons appear clear as day. The talons of the American bald eagle, who is also a killing machine. The American bald eagle attacks its victims from the rear. You can look that up in any encyclopedia. It does it in a stealthy fashion. It is sneaky in nature, just like when they made deals with Gaddafi and they went in and killed him. The American bald eagle is stealthy in nature and attacks its victims from the rear. It's also a killing machine and another godlike creature, aka the eagle is a godlike creature because it represents the greatest country on earth. Subsequently, the evil seed of death itself holds the representation of several different angels of death and cannot be counted as one individual angel, but a combination of 13 individual angels or and too numerous to mention in this short video. The evil seed of death, within the evil seed of death, within the evil seed of death are 13 individual evils. And although I have expounded my beliefs about many of the 13 individual evils, even all of the 13 individual evils, there is one evil inside the evil seed of death that I have not spoken about and can only be seen in the volume of my 90-page book, aka Angels on the Ark, because the most evil entity and or angel of death that sits within the evil seed of death is something of a nature that no life as we know it can exist. And the only place I have expounded this concept is inside the volume of my 1990-page book. So if you want to see for yourself just how evil and deadly this 14th evil is, which the 13th evil being the abomination of desolation in the White House, there is an evil that goes beyond the nature of the evil that sits upon the $1 bill represented as the commander-in-chief. It is without giving you too much information, I can tell you, no life as we know it can exist inside the evil seed of death. No life as we know it can exist inside the evil seed of death. Because, ladies and gentlemen, there is something within the evil seed of death that exists that no life on earth, besides the nuclear detonation, there is something inside the evil seed of death, besides the nuclear detonation, that will not allow life to exist on earth as we know it. So, while they're in the process of destroying this great world with nuclear death, understand there still will be life on earth. However, if they take away or add the subsequent angel that I just spoke about to this world, no life. It becomes a barren rock that day, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, gotta move on. Got stuck on that one place for a while there. Which is why I recommend, of course you know what's coming up now, you purchase my book, because there is a detail for detail itemized list of the 13 individual evils that exist within the evil seed of death. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. There is an individual list. And number 5, which we just went over by mistake, the American bald eagle, which may very well be a phoenix. We didn't go over that. That's a new one. That's right. The eagle might just very well represent a phoenix, which flies off into the sun and burns itself up in the sun and is reborn in ashes. Because out of chaos comes order. And that's what they're creating, ladies and gentlemen. Chaos on earth. That's right. The American bald eagle, which may very well be a phoenix, is also one of the many godlike entities he caused and that represent this country. That's right. Also, this phoenix has existed since the dawn of time and or the beginning of the Great Pyramid epoch. The Great Pyramid itself was built since the beginning of time, and when the Great Pyramid itself was built, that we still have no technical data proving the origin of the actual building or the date of the Great Pyramid. Imagine that, ladies and gentlemen. After these millennia, we have no knowledge of when the Great... You don't really believe that crap, do ya? In addition to these godlike entities is, of course, the Ark of the Covenant, which is the entire green side of the $1 bill. the Ark of the Covenant with the poles of shittim wood at the top and bottom of this picture, with the 4 ringlets that hold the white poles. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. In addition is the Ark of the Covenant itself, which is represented as the entire green side of the $1 bill. And at this point, after 18 months, if no one has challenged my theories and or postulations, it might as well become a statistical fact, because I doubt any of these so-called scholars have the balls to face me in a public debate. And you can take that to the bank, ladies and gentlemen. The entire green side of the $1 bill is in fact an exact replica of the Ark of the Covenant. And I have made this the number 6 item because it is either a positive or a negative impact upon today's society. Number 7. A big number here, folks, so pay attention. The godlike entity that represents the number 7 is even more significant in some respects.